Well, hello class, it's Mr. Lightbody here, coming to you from the Dietz Art Room YouTube channel. And what we've got today is a guided drawing. We are going to draw an anthropomorphic school bus. It's a cartoon school bus here that's going to have human features, like the eyeballs are going to be some headlights. Your cartoon might end up looking something like this, and of course you can add your own details along the way in addition to the ones where you're going to need to follow along with the directions. We're using Sharpies. It's going to be important that we keep the cap on the back of the Sharpie so we don't use them up. Also, we are not using the Sharpies for coloring. They're just for making our lines. Coloring is going to happen with crayons. Crayons really work great with the manila paper. I'm going to have a seat and get started. We're going to begin with the eyes here, and I planned them out so we know where things are going to go to fill up our page. I don't want anybody drawing too small or too big and having trouble with the proportions, but I'm going to keep the eyes simple and just make basic cartoony dot eyes. You can do whatever you like with them. You could make them cute, you could give them some eyelashes, whatever you want to do. I'll darken a little bit in there so there's some like a highlights going on there. I'll give my bust some eyebrows. Does make him look a little bit nervous right now. Add some lines under the eyes. Again, whatever you want to do is gonna be okay. I'm gonna move pretty fast in this video, but I can pause it whenever needed during class. All right, of course you can put your hands down right now. I'll be watching to see when we need to pause this thing. No need to go into a panic. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip down here to these dots. This is where the bus's bumper, the front bumper, is going to go. And I'm going to make a curved line going out. Uh-oh, my paper wiggled. Here. Kind of looks a little bit like parentheses. And now we've got a hard task. We've got to connect this spot over here over to this spot here. And I've got these hash marks that are set up to help us in a little bit. But right now when we're coming along with this line, the bumper is going to touch the bottom of the hash marks here. And here I go. It's a long journey. If you get tired, you can give yourself a little break along the way and pick up. There I have it. I've got the top of my bumper. Now the bottom of the bumper, I could curve it down a little bit, go straight across, go up. I think I'm going to curve it down just a little bit. And then as I head towards the connecting point, I bring it back up. All right. Now if your bumper is a little bit dinged up, maybe your bus driver I don't know, bumped into a trash can or something, who knows. Now I'm going to move back up here to the eyeballs, and I'm going to draw the front of the bus's face, where the hood would be, right? So, gosh, these gloves are squeaky. I'm going to make a little curve connecting between the eyes. If you want to have it straight across or go up, you can. What I'm going to do next is a little bit tricky. Now, these hash marks are going to be for the sides of the front windshield are. And I don't want to draw over them. I'll connect across to the eye, and then these lines over here you might know or remember from the example that this is going to be where the side mirrors are. So I'm going to make a line that's going to come around and get pretty close to the side mirror, but then it's going to curve around and connect down to this guide mark, this hash mark here. So this can be a little tricky. So I'm coming out, curving around. Take a little break. You can see what I'm doing. Coming around. It's going to straighten out on the way down and connect. A little bit tricky. I'm going to do the same thing over here. See how I left a little bit of space between that curve and where the mirror is going to go. they don't match up perfectly, see they're not really balanced, that's okay because this is a cartoon. Alright, so there's the front of my bus, and I'm going to go ahead and draw the windshield next. I've got these dots here and here, and what I'll do is I'll connect those dots down to that mark that I have. And I connect. Now, the top of my windshield, I'll connect again. I may want to curve it just a little bit up. That's okay. If you get tired, take a little break. And connect. Above my windshield, I'm going to have a sign, and the sign will say Dietz. It's going to be a rectangular sign, and I'll connect across. There. Oh, it curved a little bit. That's okay. Maybe the sign's a little bit crooked. And there's the top of the sign. All right, now on my sign I'm going to write the word Dietz for Dietz Elementary, where the Dietz Art Room is well located, where we're broadcasting from. Now, I'm used to doing this where I can write the word and get it to fit on the first try. If you want to practice with the pencil, maybe you go to another school. You could write school or the name of your school. Unless you have a really long school name, then that's going to be tough. But Dietz is going to fit just right. There goes the gloves again. I'm going to use all capital letters. I'm going to use that I that doesn't have the extra lines on it. And Dietz. Again, I'm going to move along. If we need to pause the video, we'll pause the video. Now, the top of the bus, I'm going to connect this dot here and this dot here. I'm going to make an arc. It's going to come up kind of like a rainbow, but not a very tall rainbow. And the high point is going to be right there in the center. So I'm going to come up with a curve, coming up. It's kind of like a little hill. Now it's coming back down. And if you can get it to connect, congratulations. All right. Now I'm going to draw the side of the bus next to the windshield. And I'm going to be connecting this spot here down to this area here. And now here's a little trick that can help you. I can make a parallel line there. And a parallel line there. That was a little skinnier than I would have liked, but that's okay. And then I'm going to curve this around and connect. If it bulges out a little bit and looks kind of bumpy, that's okay. There. And my paper is wiggling. And there's the top of my bus. Now, I'm going to give the bus a single light on each side. I think most buses have two, but with a cartoon we can make things simpler. We don't have to put all of the details in there. It doesn't have to be perfectly accurate. And when I color this, I'm going to color these orange because I'm going to have red lights here on the front. There. Rosy red cheeks. Of course, you don't have to color them rosy red if you don't want to. Now, before I move on from this windshield, it's got a big empty space here. I'm going to give it something to make it a little more visually interesting. I'm going to give it a little bit of a reflection. So I just start with a squiggly line, and then I make a matching squiggly line that's a little bit parallel to it. And it kind of looks like a little river of light going across the windshield. I think that helps. Before I get to the face, I'm going to skip down and I'm going to draw these tires down at the bottom here. These dots. Now this bus is bouncing along the road, so these tires are off the ground. Now when we draw these tires, they're not going to look like tires right away. They're going to look like the legs of a little stool. And I'm going to have the tire come in a little bit down here and get thicker or fatter at the bottom there. Now, looking at the tires straight on, they don't have the roundness that we would want to see in a tire, but there are other things we can do to make them look more like tires. You can see I have that, looks like it caught a nail down there. I can make little zigzags on each side of the tire that are going to look like tire treads. And very simple, 2 lines down the center. So now it looks like I got a tire that can grip the road. And 2 lines down the center there. Now while we're down here on the road, I'm going to draw some little dust clouds, maybe some little bits of gravel that are getting kicked up as the bus is bouncing along. I don't like it when the little gravel gets kicked up because that can crack your windshield and scratch the paint, and those things are frustrating. Not the way you want to start the morning, going into work and getting a nice piece of gravel hitting your windshield. Now let's go ahead and draw that face. Now I'm going to draw the grill, and here's the thing that happens when you draw the grill. It kind of looks like what they call the 5 o'clock shadow of a man who hasn't shaved recently. And if you don't want that look right there, what you can do is you can just see what I do. Maybe you just want to draw the face with a happy face or some other expression. I don't know, maybe your bus is sticking its tongue out or something, who knows. But the grills come in all different sizes. I'm going to have it get a little bit narrower at the top and come on down. And it kind of looks like a mouth that's open and yelling right there. But I'll give the bus kind of a friendly smile there. And we'll leave it at that. Now I can move on to these mirrors on the side. I'll draw the line at the top a little bit wider than the line at the bottom, and I'll connect down. They're slightly rectangular. You can make it a wider mirror if you wanted to. And I'm simplifying again. I'm just going to add 1 bar to hold the mirror up. Usually they have another bar going across. But see how skinny that one looks? What I can do is I can add a parallel line to make it a little fatter. That'll let us color that in. I think that looks better. Single line. And then the parallel line. Just about done here with the drawing. I'll add some clouds in the background, break up the space. Now, if you have a cloud poking out the side, that's all right. You don't have to draw the whole thing. It's like it's coming in to the frame of the picture. There. And just so I don't have 2 on each side because it looks a little too overbalanced, I'll add another one up here. And well, that's the end of this part of the video. If we got enough storage space on the iPad, I'll make a video where I talk about the coloring. Otherwise, I'll talk about that in person with you. Thanks for watching.